Um, what have you found to be the best way to market yourself?
So I'm horrific in this area, right? Which is why I also try my best to sometimes factor this into my business 3 hours,
Yeah.
because I'm awful at social media, awful at marketing myself. I don't know if I do anything in that area,
Okay.
to be honest. So the only thing that comes to mind
Hmm.
is Terrell's top five.
I don't really market. I feel like you just gotta be good when you're working for the bookers. Like if you're booked to host, be a good host. Concentrate on getting another date right then and there.
Hmm.
But as far as like for me being famous and getting famous or like viral, I
Hmm.
don't even worry about it. Like, I'd be happy if I could just do comedy Friday, Saturday and make, 600 bucks a weekend.
Hmm.
I'm not looking for that fame and fortune.
Ugh. Um, Open mics, just being funny at open mics,
Okay.
and people seeing people see you be funny is the best sort of grassroots marketing that you can get. I mean, um, it's almost like a proof of performance thing, that you can have a good set and or even like a good joke within a crummy set,
Okay.
that someone will like and see the potential in. That's always very fulfilling.
Okay.
That's a horrible question because I have not found any way to market myself because like I don't put any effort into Instagram or Twitter. I barely put any effort into Facebook. Um, I'd probably say if I had to answer that, it would probably be making videos.
Okay.
I think like if I started making videos a lot more consistently with all my ideas, then I think like the marketing would be a lot better.
Okay.
That also ties back to my stupid anger thinking about photos, where it's just like I'll see certain people like they have like great numbers and a lot of attention on social media. I'm like, this motherfucker is not funnier more than 3 minutes on stage. So my mind discounts everything that they're doing well in lieu of that, and then it makes me discount everybody who likes them. So it's kind of like oh, this person has 80,000 Instagram followers, but they fucking suck. So I'm like, Instagram's stupid. These people are stupid.
That's no
It's
way.
funny. Like I worked with Greg Giraldo once,
Yeah.
and he was talking about how he stopped watching the. I think I might have been called in as a replacement. But he told me that he had stopped watching the feature act the night before and got a replacement. And I was like, why? And he was like, oh, well, it's like they were really nice, but like I was getting angry because they're horrible and they're saying these happiest jokes and then the audience is laughing at some of them. And then I would start hating the audience before I even got on stage because they laughed at this fucking joke that this person did. So like I'm hating these people, getting myself worked up before I even go on stage because I hate the person's jokes that they're laughing at.
That's
And I
awesome.
was like, I fucking totally understand that.
Did you work with Drake? Did he like have you work with him more, Gerardo?
He gave me his phone number and was like,
That's
come
awesome.
up to New York and all this stuff. And then like, then he was dead, so it didn't work out.
I'm sorry to laugh. That's funny.
I haven't.
That seems to be the general answer when I ask that question.
I I don't know. I definitely feel like I'm not great at it. And I used to feel bad about that, but now I don't feel bad about it anymore because I'm like, well, if I haven't figured it out in 15 years, I'm
Mhm.
not going to suddenly get good at marketing myself.
Okay.
Um, I have stuff that I know people respond to a little more, which is like, I had people I was doing a newsletter for a while before
Yeah.
quarantine, and I haven't done one in forever. But huge problem with consistency.
Yeah.
I'm bad at being like, I'm gonna do a weekly thing.
Mm-hmm.
I run out of steam real quick, and I haven't figured out how to remedy that.
Okay.
Besides, like having a boss.
Well, for your newsletter, how do you get?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, for your newsletter, how do you get people to even sign up to get it? So there has to be something that you do. Is it after shows? Do you have like a binder and people just write their email address down? Like, how do you even get them to the newsletter part?
I have like a link to it on my website and on my
Okay.
Facebook, and I would just tell people about it.
Okay.
If you want to come see me, I'm gonna broadcast it on social media. But I really, I don't know. I still feel like I'm talking most of the time when I do anything like comedy related or a newsletter or anything.
Mhm.
I'm still talking to like the same like 50 people that have either known me personally or liked me
Yeah.
for since I started or something. Which I'm like, cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
But as far as like finding a way to like broadly market myself, I'm like, I don't know if I'm just not that kind of
Okay. That's fair.
person.
Um.
Yeah, I wish I was better at it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the answer I get.
Yeah.
No, I get it, and and there's probably and you probably talked to any comic. I doubt there was like an eager way. I guess if you talk to comics who are like super enthusiastic about marketing themselves, they're probably not that great at doing comedy. The only one I can think of is like an Andrew Schultz. Like he's the only. I said he's the exception. Like he can market himself pretty well, and he's also really
Yeah.
funny.
And
But
you can perform and write a joke. Yeah.
yeah,
But I also think that a lot of times people think they've figured something out, and it's not that they haven't, but they found something that worked. And they're like, well, that was all my thoughts.
yeah,
And really, it's like we got lucky with this thing, and it worked, and you were smart enough to recognize it and keep going.
yeah.
But none of us understand marketing, or we would be fucking marketers.
Very true.
Social media.
So, how much is your website, Missy? How much is that is how much do you rely mostly on Facebook for people to see you, or is your website a bigger draw for?
I'm terrible at it. I've got to maintain my website better and put more video links on there. I think for me, it's mostly Facebook. I think my demographic is mostly on Facebook.
Okay.
I want to be better at making my website something fun for people to look at,
Mhm.
but I just haven't. I'm too busy on the couch in the morning with my coffee.
And to be honest, part of my responsibility is to kind of help support her comedy, and I should be, doing analytics on her website. I don't. I have no idea what traffic is coming through.
Right.
I just know if people send us emails or not. That's
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
I'd be in a much better place if I knew how to market myself better, man. I think my big thing where I established myself was that I got on Twitter. When I got big on Twitter, I made some waves. I don't have a lot of Twitter followers. I have like 4,000 and change, I think. But those first few years, I really kind of made a name for myself, and people got to know me. I was actually at Twitter. I was nominated for a Shorty Award, which was a Twitter award in New York. So I was able to showcase and just network with a lot of people there. So that's been my best. I think that's been my best way of getting my name out there.
And do you make it a habit to make sure that you're putting out one tweet a day? Is that kind of your thing? Or just when you have a good one to put out?
Up until March, yes.
Okay.
I think now it's a little bit different because I'm just I just did a different headspace, and I should probably more, but there for a while, it's like, it was almost like I need a tweet every 2 hours. I was obsessed with it because it's instant feedback.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's that, write a joke. You don't have to wait until tomorrow night to tell it. It's like, to tell it there and get 30 likes, and you're like, all right,
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's such a, you know what? Like, I think the best way to market yourself is an open mind, is like constantly evolving, which isn't something like I focused heavily on Facebook and and just putting myself out there, and like I really tried to pay attention to Facebook, a long time ago. But it's like, but the reason why I hesitate is because there's so many other platforms out there. And like to have an open mind and market it, like I'm seeing guys now, like because my daughter's on TikTok, and so I hop on every once in a while. I'm seeing guys on there like starting to make some impractical jokers. So, Sal is on there, and he's starting to kill it on TikTok.
Okay.
That's like a whole new generation of fans for him.
Yeah.
Like, and he's figuring that out now. It's like. That's probably the biggest thing.
But you've gotten gigs just based on Facebook posts. Wasn't the whole Philly Comedy Club, New York Comedy Club thing based on the booker really liking the stuff that you had put on Facebook?
Yeah. I mean, Facebook's worked out really well for me.
And you put out so much stuff. Do you have a rule where you're like at least once a day I'm posting on Facebook?
I had a rule where I was like, I kind of figured out like algorithms, and like it's got to be before 9, like right around 9 a.m. I was like, I'm gonna try to post twice a day, one in the morning, one at night. And then over time, like I was like, all right, maybe I'm putting myself out there too much, and it's getting annoying. Mm-hmm. So then it was like once a day. And now it's kind of more so like I'm not forcing myself to write like a Facebook joke. Because now I kind of want to like, if it's like sometimes I feel like I force a Facebook joke out, and then when I go back and look at it, I'm like, that could have been a bit.
Yeah, we've had this conversation before where there's like legitimate bits you're putting on Facebook. Yeah, well, and then you also have I was gonna say you also have a rule where what's the rule with the number of likes before you delete a post? Because you have something like how many likes? What's the threshold for likes before that to keep it staying power?
So you know what? So I used to pay. It was like that would be like my way of like, because here's the thing is, like you put something out on social media, it's like going to an open mic and trying out a new joke for the first time. So
that's the way of putting it.
Put out some bombers.
Yeah.
Like not every one of them is going to be that good, right? If I post something, I go back and I go. Like after a couple minutes, and I'll take a peek back at it, and if it's not getting any love, I'll just delete it.
Okay.
I don't really have like a number threshold so much as like, if I wasn't, because there are times where I go, I'll check back and I go, you know what? I'm standing by this one. I thought this one was good.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it'll grow traction later, but usually if like within 5 minutes, if you're not like, if you don't have like 5 likes in like 5 minutes, that means people have scrolled past and just not thought it was that funny. And maybe get rid of it.
Okay.
Reword it.
It's good. It's good food for